Alright, hey folks, this is Keough, and I haven't done a video log in a while, but I feel like it's important for me to discuss the subject of Team Keough and how exactly that came about. When I started a couple of years ago programming for Janice, that was the first person I had ever worked with. And so when Janice started competing, or started lifting for powerlifting and then competing in it, I did her programming initially. And now she's at a point where she does a lot of her programming herself, but when she needs something fixed in the protocol that we have for her, something adjusted, or something modified, then she comes to me and I offer her suggestions, and sometimes I continue to help modify things for her. So originally I worked just with Janice. I've been competing in Iowa for the last several years. I've competed in NASA meets, I've competed in EPA meets, and along the way I've made some contacts with lifters in the state. A year or two ago I made contact with lifters in a gym in Des Moines called 22nd Street Barbell, and I met a few lifters there, and one by one those lifters decided that they were interested in asking me about doing programming for them. And so it's not something that I've ever really done prior to this. I have written programs for people previously. I've written a couple of programs for people on my university powerlifting team, University of Iowa Powerlifting, and I've written a few very simple programs, modified programs for other people that I know, friends of mine, but I've never really worked intensely with any one person besides Janice. But I decided that I would take on a few additional people and work with them, and eventually it has evolved to the concept of Team Keough, which is not necessarily my designated name for it, but it's a group of people for whom I'm doing their programming and I'm doing their training currently. And so that's the idea behind that. And a few points of clarification that I want to make. It is something that I'm not necessarily going to start promoting or advertising, because it's not something necessarily that I'm selling, and those words connote that I'm selling it, but it is something that I am going to, at the very least, start publicizing, because it is a team that I believe very strongly in. The individuals, I have very strong relationships with these individuals, and of course I'm very invested in seeing them succeed, so it is something that I'm going to start to publicize. And so I want to make clear, number one, this isn't something that I'm doing for a narcissistic purpose. It's not like I was fortunate enough to get this shirt printed up by one of our members, and he sent it to me actually today, and I figured, well, now's a good time for me to make this video, just so that everybody knows I didn't go self-designated Team Keough because I think that I'm a source of knowledge and inspiration for other people. I don't necessarily perceive myself that way, and that's not how I'm trying to advertise myself. So it's not self-designated to satisfy my ego. That's I didn't choose the name. I wasn't a participant in that, and the name is fine. I can deal with it. But it's not a personal training business, or it's not an online programming business. I should make that very clear. I don't do programming for pay. Everybody I work with for free, and that will continue to be the case until I feel like I can offer something that is in any way better than what other people are charging for. And honestly, I don't feel like I offer a unique service, one that's worthy of asking for pay. And so it's something that I do because, number one, I enjoy it. I enjoy working with people and seeing them achieve their goals, and I want to work with good people who I'm close to, who I want to see succeed, and so I'm very selective about who I work with. So I enjoy it, and it's also it's a really fascinating intellectual exercise, trying to take somebody that's strong and make them stronger. And the experience really helps me learn a lot about programming as well. So I certainly get a lot out of it, trying to coach other people, trying to program for other people. I feel like some of the decisions that I make, and seeing how those decisions affect other people, that gives me insight into what I might do about about my own training. So it really does help me understand my own training better, doing this for other people. So, a few points of clarification. The name is not an act of narcissism. I hope you don't take it that way. I'm not doing this for pay. The shirts are not for sale. I should make that clear. I don't intend for there to be any profit off of the organization. And I'm not such an idealist to think that everything should be done for free, and I shouldn't receive anything out of it. My members find ways of doing me favors, and we help each other, and it works out just fine. But I'm not necessarily looking to make anything out of this. The other thing I wanted to say is that Team Keough has become sort of an extension of how I view powerlifting and how I view my place in it. Number one, I'm relatively inexperienced still. There's a lot that I still have left to learn. I know infinitely less than some other people, and I really haven't done a lot of meets, certainly a lot of high-profile meets. I haven't put together a lot of big totals. I still have a long way to go in all of my lifts. And so I don't really speak from a position of expertise, and I don't want to pretend like that's the case. It's probably going to take another decade or so before I really feel like I can speak from that position of expertise. I'm still really just kind of learning on the job here, and I'm trying to absorb everything I can. I'm trying to pick up things from as many people as I can, but I'm still really in a sort of novice state as far as my experience with the sport and my knowledge of the sport. And so I don't want to be so presumptuous to assume that I should be marketing myself as a figure, as a personality in the sport, because nothing I do really is that spectacular, and I don't really have anything unique to offer to anybody, and there's a lot that I still really don't understand that I need to before I can offer anything. But my goal in being a public personality in powerlifting is to